I'll record here. Okay. Oh, here's Ayan, and I think at this point we have everyone. So, for this intermediate or part two of mobile app development, we're going to be continuing with what we were learning previously, and go into some more advanced concepts and try to use them to make some cooler, more advanced apps. All right. So for today, there's a couple options for things that we can create, but I think the first thing that we're going to start with is an app that's going to allow us to learn how to use some logic in our apps. All right, because we haven't quite done that yet to this point. But after today, hopefully you guys will understand how to use logic in your apps and make it do different things depending on the user input. All right. So let me take a look at this. Let me share my screen. Okay. So for this, what we're going to do is we're going to start by just quickly making an app that's going to play the simple game of like tic-tac-toe, right? So we're going to make a simple grid with a couple buttons, and hopefully this won't take too long so we can get into some more advanced stuff, but this should help us cover some simple concepts, how to use if statements and logic in our game to make it so that it would actually know who won, and be able to display that at the bottom. All right.
Okay, can you
So
remind for Ayan how to get into the MIT App Inventor?
yeah, so Ayan, if you don't remember how to do it in Chrome, go ahead and search MIT App Inventor. This is for everyone, just a little bit of review, right? And then click MIT App Inventor over here and create apps. And this will bring you into your base screen here where you'll see all the apps that we made last week, plus, you see my apps here. All right, and then the first thing I want you to do today, guys, is let's go start by creating a new project. So click Start New Project. All right, project name, and for the project name for this one, you can call it Tic-Tac-Toe. All right, and I'm gonna say summer afterwards because I already have a couple tic-tac-toes in my feed here. All right, tic-tac-toe. All right, we should get a nice blank screen. All right, and we're gonna start this week with a little bit of review. Make this current session with a little bit of review because over the weekend, hopefully you guys didn't forget too much, but if you did, let's just make sure everyone remembers where everything is and how to use MIT App Inventor. All right. So guys, just like last week, if you finish what I've told you to do, so if you manage to get a new project open called Tic-Tac-Toe Summer, in the chat, let's go ahead and practice this real quick. In the chat, once you have it open, go ahead and say yes, or in the video feed, give me a thumbs up. Okay, so Sophia's good, Ian's good.
Wait, are we supposed to have that exact one open?
Not this exact one, just open your own project called Tic-Tac-Toe.
Okay, Ayan, do you want to share your screen? We quickly will walk you through.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
And Zach and Hannah are so good.
I accidentally opened this one, so I need to go back.
Robust. Oh, okay, so click My Project.
Oh, okay.
And click Start a New Project. And then here, write Tic-Tac-Toe.
And yes, Ayan, you were in that FLL team that actually used the for the Robobus application. Right? That was pretty cool. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing. It looks like everyone else is good now. Okay, so we can get started with this app here. So let me give you a little bit of review of the UI here at first. So on the left side, guys, you'll remember we have our palette. All right, just like a paint palette, this shows you all of the different options and colors you can use. Right. So we have our user interface. This is where we're going to have all of our like elements that are going on our screen, right? We have our layout to help us organize things. Media is like the the phone sensors and stuff. There's also sensors. That's some different, like more advanced stuff. We haven't looked at maps, but we can maybe do this later this week. Drawing and animation, remember we use this to make some simple games like our little mini golf app. All right. Social storage, all of this, guys, we'll cover later in the week. And guys, if you've ever played around with Lego Mindstorms before, you can actually make this phone app work with it. So that's actually kind of really cool. Yeah. So here is our palette on the left side. Okay. To get stuff from our palette onto our screen, remember if I want a button, I just drag the button on, drag the checkbox on, drag the image on, drag the label on. Don't actually do this. I'm just demoing right now. All right. But this gets us excellently into the next part. So on the right side here, we have our components. All right. I skipped over the viewer because this part is kind of self-explanatory. This is just where you see your screen. All right. But in our components, we see all of the elements that are in our screen. All right. So you can see I have a button, which is right here. Checkbox is right here. Image here, and label here. All right. If I ever want to delete anything, I can click on it in the components menu and then click the delete button here. I'm going to do that actually for all of them because there's no point in having them all here. And delete. Okay. But you'll see the screen you can't delete because it is the root component. All right. But we can do stuff with the screen here. Okay. And if you actually click on a component, so let me actually drag the label out real quick. If you click on it, you'll see in the properties, here's everything about that component and how you can change it. So for instance, the font size, I can make it nice and big. I can make the height. Well, the height's not going to really show anything. I can make it bold. I can make it italic. Give it a background color. Okay, I can change the text color to red. Right. Here's where you do all of the fun stuff. Maybe I do fill parent widths like that. And guys, if you don't remember how to center text on a label, what you need to do is you always set width to fill parent, and then text alignment is usually on left. You're going to set it to center. All right, and that should center it. That's just a little review on that as well. Okay, but I think we can get started with this app real quick. So if you guys remember from last class, the first thing we usually want to do when we open a new app is we're going to click on screen one and get rid of this little banner. Does anybody remember how to get rid of this this banner right here? Yeah, Sophia?
Go to screen one, scroll down to the bottom, and turn off title visible.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to scroll down here, just like Sophia said, in the properties menu, when you click on screen one, you're going to scroll down and uncheck the box that says title visible. And you'll notice it's gone. And our screen looks a little bit cleaner. And when we upload it to our phone, it'll look a lot cleaner. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do with our tic-tac-toe app is we're going to put some kind of label on it, right? Because we need to say what kind of app this is, give some instructions to the user, right? So I'm going to drag the label out, guys, and I'm going to give you a little challenge as a review challenge. I want you to make this label larger and then center it on the screen. And I'll give you like a minute for that. And once you're done, or if you need help, go ahead and let me know in the chat or with a thumbs up.
Okay, I got it.
Awesome. How's everyone else doing? Okay, Sophia's good. Oh, Ian, Zaki, and Hannah. Hannah's good. Zaki, are you good? Ian's also good. How about you, Zaki?
Just want to remind everyone to follow up because, well, once team's done, pretty much
Yeah, Zaki's also good.
We'll ask everyone to share the screen and show, right?
Okay. Yeah, guys, don't if you didn't figure it out or don't know how to do it, feel free to actually ask, because just saying you did it is gonna make it worse later on, because then you'll fall behind and won't know how everything's working. All right, we're here to explain it to you guys, so don't worry if you don't understand it right off the bat. Okay. So I'm gonna show you guys once again. I'm going to set the width to fill parent. I'm gonna set text alignment to center. For this guy, I'm gonna make the font a little bit larger. And I hope you guys actually change the text. I'm gonna call this tick tack. So, right. Maybe I'll make it bold too. Boom. Right. You guys, if you like if you like to change like the background color of your entire app, you can do that by clicking on screen 1 and then going in here and finding the background color, and you can change that to whatever you want. So if you like a dark mode app, you can go like dark gray, or you can go completely black if you want, and then you can just make your tic-tac-toe label white. All right, so that's up to you. I'm gonna stick with it as a white right now. Okay, but if you want to set your own like color theme for it, that's fine. All right.
Wait, what do you do about the settings for the label again?
For the label, so what I did is I made the width fill parent.
Yeah.
All right, I said text alignment center.
Oh, okay.
And then I played with the font a little. So I just said font size 25, font bold, and then I changed the text. Okay, you don't have to touch the font if you don't want to. I think this just looks a little nicer. All right. Okay, so I think we can keep going because it looks like most of you guys are done with that. So how we're going to be actually making this tic-tac-toe app tic-tac-toe-ful is we're going to be using a lot of buttons. All right, so we're going to add a ton of buttons out here, and they're going to be completely blank at first, basically. But what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that when you click on the button, it'll either add an X or an O as that button's text, depending on which user or which person is clicking on it. Okay, it doesn't necessarily need to know which person is clicking on it. It just needs to know whose turn it is, right? Because it knows that it's going to be alternating between X and O. All right, so to do this, right, ideally we would need to put like 3 buttons in a 9 buttons in a 3x3 grid, right? But right now we don't really have that because I can't put another button on the side here. So we're going to be using something fun. Hold up, let me just delete this. Okay, that doesn't work. There you go. So we're going to be using something under layout. Can anybody guess what we're going to be using for this app under the layout section? Yeah, Sophia?
Horizontal arrangement.
So that is one way we could do it. We could use like 3 separate horizontal arrangements. Does anybody think they see an easier way that they can do it? Yeah, so Zaki here says table, which is correct, right? So if any of you guys don't know what a table is basically like a grid that has a certain amount of columns and rows, or like a certain amount of, I don't know how to explain rows and columns. Has a certain amount of
Vertical and horizontal cells.
vertical and horizontal cells. That's a good explanation, right? So if we drag out the table arrangement, at first you won't really see anything, right? It's just going to be like a clear little border here. And you'll notice these words come up again. So columns 2 and rows 2. Now, does anybody know which way columns and rows run?
Yeah.
So our columns
go up and down.
Yeah.
And rows go left to right.
Yeah, awesome, right? So if I want to increase the amount of rows I have, right? I can go ahead and change that right here, and that'll change how many left to right rows I have.
I think
Right?
you need 3, right?
Yeah, so for our application, we are going to need 3, and we're going to need 3 columns as well. But first, let's do something else. Let's go ahead and make the height and the width fill parent. Okay? And then let's go ahead and change columns to 3 and rows to 3. Now, guys, the reason we're changing them to 3 is because a tic-tac-toe grid, right, has 3 cells going left to right and 3 cells going top to down. So we need this to be a 3 by 3 grid. All right, and then you'll notice how to use this is unlike when you're using like a horizontal arrangement or anything, you can just kind of put it wherever you want. So you'll notice there's like a bunch of options here. You can do it, and if you hover over each one of them, a little blue square appears showing you where to put it. Now, right now it's only centered in like the top left corner, but these cells will get bigger to fit whatever component you put inside them. So I'm gonna put a button here. I'm gonna put another button next to it. I'm gonna put another button next to it. And then I'm gonna do that again, over and over. Here you go. Okay, until I have 9 buttons. All right, so that's what I want you guys to do. Make a 3 by 3 grid and put buttons in it. And then after this, I think we'll quickly do a share screen for everyone just to make sure everyone's nice and caught up. Okay.
Okay, I'm done.
Awesome. That's kind of good. So I think, yeah, what we can do right now, if you're done, Ayaan, can you quickly just share your screen? We'll take a look at everyone's one by one. Hopefully it won't take too long.
Okay.
Awesome, looks good. I like your blue color theme too. Looks very pretty. Awesome. All right, Hannah, can you share yours real quick? Awesome, you're also good. I like you changed the font too, which looks cool. Awesome. Stop sharing. Who wants to go next? Sophia, okay, you can share yours real quick. Awesome, you're also good. You got all your buttons. Okay, Ian, do you want to go real quick? Oh, okay, you also already got rid of the labels. Awesome, so you're kind of already going to the next step, which I'll show you guys all later or after this. Okay, yeah, Ian, you can just keep playing with it if you want. And I'll show you guys how to do that in a sec. And lastly, Zachy, can you share your screen? Awesome, you also got all the buttons. Nice. Okay. Let me share my screen now and let's keep going.
Zachy's screen weren't in order, so he had like 8, then 1, then 2. Would that cause any issues?
Shouldn't.
When he started programming them? So Zachy,
Well,
try to put them in order, because when we start doing the math with it, you kind of want to logically them be in the correct order so you don't get confused later. Thank you.
All right, so guys, the next step, like you saw, actually, Ian already did this, is we need to get rid of the text from these text boxes. All right, so for this, we're actually gonna have to go one by one, basically, and delete the text from the button. All right.
Okay.
All right, so you're gonna click on the button, go to the properties, and delete the text. And you'll see one by one, they'll all shrink to the same teeny tiny size that Ian had on his screen. Okay, and you have a little tiny tic-tac-toe grid on the left side. All right, so once you have all the text deleted, we actually need to make these a little bit bigger, all right, to fill up all the space on our screen. So there's a couple ways that we can do this, right? The most intuitive way that you would think that we could do it is just go ahead and click width and say fill parent. All right, don't do this yet. Let me just demonstrate what happens.
It doesn't work.
You can click fill parent. Yeah, and you'll see it actually doesn't do anything. All right, and the reason for this is what fill parent does is it takes up as much space as the parent object allows it to. Right, the parent object gives it a teeny tiny grid to fill, and when you say fill parent, it just expands and fills that tiny grid, and it can't get any bigger. So what we need to do is we need to make that grid, like we need to physically push that grid open and fill it up with more space. All right. So instead of doing fill parent, what we're going to do is we're going to give them all a specific width and height, and we can do this either in percents or in pixels. All right. I think percents is probably fine, but it'll kind of change if you have like a long phone. All right. Now I'm going to show you guys a cool little trick as well. So since we're going to be doing the exact same thing on every single button here, and they're basically all identical right now, what we can do is we can click on the buttons, click on like one button, and then hold Control on your keyboard. All right, if you're on a Mac, it might be Command. You'll have to try out a couple of keys. I'm not quite sure how it'll work there. All right, but hold Control and then click on every single button, and you'll see they all get highlighted in like a green outline. All right, and then over here, you can go ahead and change something. Like for instance, if I change the background color, for instance, to blue, you'll notice all of them instantly change. I don't really want to do that. Where's default? Here you go. I don't really want to change the background color, but that is how you would do it. All right. Actually, maybe I will change the background color. I'll make it black, so there's like the white space in between them will be like the light.
Wait, how do you make like the crossboard like a different color?
Actually, I'll just leave it white for now. The
Like-
crossboard.
Like, how do you make like the highlighted part a different color?
This highlighted part, like the green around it.
Yeah.
This green around it is just showing that you have it selected. This isn't actually going to show up in the app. It just shows that you're like selecting all the buttons. All right, but here's what we're going to do, guys. So once we have them all selected, you're going to go
And
click.
you hold Control and you select buttons one by one.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So we're going to change the width real quick. So we're going to click width, and then we're going to click percent. Okay. And I want to type here, right? If I have 3 buttons and I need to fill up 100% of a screen, what do I set for the percent? You can round to the nearest number.
33.
33, right? Because if I divide 100 by 33, it'll be like 33.3 infinitely, right? But you can just round it to 33. And I'm going to click OK. It might not have applied. Oh, okay. It didn't apply to these 3. Let me just change these. Percent 33.
Just do 100 pixels for all of them. It will fit perfectly on the screen.
But that depends on your screen size. If my phone has a higher resolution, those 100 pixels are going to be a lot smaller than a phone with a lower resolution. A percent is going to change depending on the resolution and the size of your screen. All right, but here you go, guys. So they're all fitting horizontally. All right, just to do the control select thing, you have to make sure they all have the same like stats at first. All right, so if it says width multiple, I don't think it's going to work. See, like this one's still on fill parent. I just set this to 33 too. Okay, and I'm going to select them all again. All right, and I'm also going to set the height to something. Okay, I'm not quite sure what the percent is for this, so we're going to do trial and error. I'm going to try 15. 15 maybe a little bit too smushed. 20. 20 actually looks pretty good. Maybe we can try more. 25. Okay, 25 is too long, so 23. I'm going to try 23. All right, so I have 23 as the option I set it to. And you'll notice if you deselect it now, that little white, those little white lines kind of form a grid for you, right? So if you want, there's a couple options that we can do. Either we can like make these black, right? So that the white line is like the grid, or we can make the background black and make these white. So that's another option. All right. Or if you don't really care about the grid, you can just leave these as gray and make it look like this. All right. The styling is completely up to you guys. All right. So if you want to make it look good or make it look how you want it to be, I'm going to leave that up to you, but I'm here to help if you don't remember how to do something. All right. All right. So we got our buttons. All right. And I'll give you guys a second. Try that one more time. That may have looked a little bit weird, so let me actually go through it one more time. So by default, all of your, oh no. By default, all your buttons were set to automatic. All right, so what I wanted you guys to do was hold Control, click on all the buttons. Okay, and then set height, or let's start with width. Width to 33%. And then height, I want you to play around with the percent to see what fits best for you, but I am gonna do 23. All right, and that should fit nicely for me.
Okay, give us thumbs up if you've done this step.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, Sophia, yes. Ayan, yes. Jackie, yes. Ian, Hannah? Ian, yes. Hannah? And if you need help, you can share your screen. We can help you. Yeah, okay, Hannah gave us thumb up. Okay, good. So we're ready to move on to coding now.
Awesome. Okay. So let's go to blocks now. Here I'm in blocks. All right, and let's get to coding this. All right, so actually one thing that is important, if your buttons are kind of out of order, so for instance, if your buttons are kind of out of order, what you can try to do is you can rename them to different things. All right, so for instance, if you don't like button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4, you can just rename it to like 1. Oh, it has to start with 1. So I can go B1, I can go B2. Guys, this is optional. You don't have to do this. B3. And guys, I'm labeling them in order. So this one's B1, this is B2, this is B3. This is going to be B4. This will be B5. B6. Oh, that was B67. Okay. B6. All right, this should be B7. B8. And this will be B9. If you are okay with just button 1, button 2, button 3, button 4, you can leave it unrenamed, especially if you have the order correct already. But I like this a little more. It'll look better in the coding side. So I'm gonna leave it like this. Okay. So we can get into the blocks side now. Okay, so in the blocks, what we need to do is we need to make it so that when we click on a button, depending on what button we click, it should add like an X or an O to that button. All right, so let's give that a try for now, right? Let's just make it so that we can click on a button and it'll do something. For now, let's just program one button, and then I'll show you how we can program the rest. Because as you can see, we have 9 buttons. And do any of you guys really want to try to program all 9 buttons individually? Right? If I do like one button, right, button.click, then I have to do another button.click for this guy and another button.click for this guy, right? It would be a lot of copy pasting and really tedious. So I'll actually show you a really cool way that we can do the same thing for a lot of buttons, all right? But for now, let's just start with this guy. So let's make it so that when we click our button 1, depending on whose turn it is, it will change its text. Okay, so everyone drag out a button1.click. All right. And then the next thing we need to do is we need to actually keep track of whose turn it is. All right, the best way for us to keep track of whose turn it is among all the buttons is to create a variable that's going to be storing that value. All right, that's going to be storing the value of whose turn it is. So if you guys remember from last class or from last week, right, how variables work, they basically allow you to store value, right, and change that value up constantly and read that value and use it in multiple different places at the same time. All right, it allows you to like replace values with a varying placeholder. All right, so we're going to click variable. And to create a variable, we're going to click initialize global name 2. All right, the name of this is going to be like turn, and we're going to set it to who usually starts in tic-tac-toe? Does anybody know? So Zaki says X. Does anyone else disagree? And you're muted, by the way. I don't know if you're talking, but.
Yeah, I think so. X is right.
Okay. And just guys, mute yourself if you're not talking so that we don't hear some like random background noises. Okay. So initialize global turn 2, and then over here, I'm going to put a text box from text. All right, because we're going to be doing an X or an O, which is still a symbol, right, or a letter. So my default turn is going to be X. I'm going to put a capital X in here so that it tries to fill up like as much space as it can in the button. Okay, initialize global turn to X. So now when I click on my button, there's a couple things that I want to do, right? I want to change the text of the button to the current turn, and then I want to make sure the next button clicked is going to do a different. It's going to do a different action, right? So it's going to do an O. So it's going to be the next person's turn. So I want to be able to change my turn variable. If it's an X, I want to change it to an O. And if it's an O, I'm going to change it to an X. All right. And that is something we're going to talk about in a second, because changing it is going to be requiring a little bit of logic that we haven't quite looked at before. Okay. So let's start that. We have our turn variable already going. So when we click button 1, what I want to do is I want to select button 1, and I want to say find button 1, set button 1.text somewhere here. Here it is. Set b1.text. All right, and I'm going to be setting this text variable to my current turn. So I can hover over turn and say get global turn. Okay, or I can drag it from variables get global turn and slap that in there. It doesn't really matter how you do it. So if you didn't see how I got this, right, I just hovered over turn and then grabbed to get global turn. Okay, so that's changing the text to the current turn. If you guys wanted to test this, you can do this right now. But literally all that would happen is just when you click button 1, you will make an X appear on it.
Wait, I can't find the when B1 click do block. I can't
Okay,
find
on the
it.
left side here, at the bottom, do you see something here that says B1 or button 1?
Yeah.
So you're going to click on B1 and then scroll all the way to the top, and it's going to be when B1.click.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. All right, so I got my b1.text, get global turn. Okay, so let's talk about the next step, which is going to be changing the turn variable to the next person's turn. All right, now this is going to be different depending on whose turn it is, right? So we can't always just say like change the turn to whatever it's not currently, right? We need to give it some more logic, some more instructions. All right, and for this, we are going to be using we're going to be using some stuff under the control tab. All right, specifically, have any of you guys heard of an if statement before? The first one here. Have you guys heard of it? Yes? Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, so Sophia has not heard it. Zaki has heard it. I don't know about the rest of you. You can say it in the chat if you haven't. Okay. So maybe some of you guys have seen it, but let's talk about it real quick anyway. So what an if statement does is it's basically, it's going to allow your program to perform logic and change what it's going to be doing depending on a certain condition. All right, so we're actually going to drag out this first if. Okay, so drag out the if, and we're going to say if a certain condition is met, then we're going to change it. And we're going to be using this for changing the turn. So we're going to say something like if the current turn is X, change turn to O, and otherwise, if it's not X, if it's O already, then change it to X. All right, and to do that with an if statement, we're also going to be using this logic tab. All right, and we're going to pull out this equal sign. Okay, so under the green one, the one with the equal. All right, so we're going to say if get global turn is equal to here an X. If it's equal to X, then set get global turn or set global turn to an O. And I'm just going to do a capital O. I'm not going to do like a 0 or something. All right, so this will make it so that if your current turn is X and you just click the button, then your next turn is going to be O, which is exactly what we want. But if it's O now and you click the button again, it doesn't yet switch it back to X, which is what we're going to be adding next.
Did you add turn?
What do you mean, did I add turn?
Oh, never mind.
I have the turn variable up here, and then I use it a couple times down here.
Do we need to create an O variable? Like, do we need to add the variable O?
No, so O isn't a variable. So the variable turn stores whose turn it currently is. So if turn is equal to X, that means it's X's turn.
Oh.
After X uses his turn by clicking on a button, we want to switch the variable turn to O.
Oh, okay.
Then after O does his turn, we want to switch it back to X, and then back and forth as they keep clicking buttons. Okay?
So the variable is like a container, right? Turn is a label on that container. You can put any text in it. You can put X, you can put O, you can put Z, right? Up to you. But because this is tic-tac-toe games, so obviously we're switching between X and O text.
Yeah, but shouldn't you put it in like a loop block?
No, okay, so the code in here is going to be run whenever you click a button.
Oh.
Or when you click button 1. All right, so when you click on the button, that means that like player X just used up his turn clicking on the button. All right,
Yeah.
It sets the text of that button to whose turn it was when they clicked it. Right, so let's simulate this, right? So if it's currently X's turn, he clicks on the button. That button now has the text of X on it, showing that X like marked here. All right, then this code right here is going to change the variable to be the next person's turn. All right, so if we're checking if the current turn is X, then we're going to set global turn to O. And then we're going to have to do another thing over here to say if it's not equal to X, then change it to X.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Then
Let's show how to do that now. You'll notice we've never actually used any blocks. Well, we have used some blocks, but we never really clicked on this little setting icon before. So if I click on the setting icon here, you'll notice it allows me to add in some conditional stuff to this if statement.
Oh, okay.
Right? So how it works is you can either, there's two options, there's else if and else. If I do else if, it's going to say something like, if this condition isn't met, go on to the next thing and check if that's met. All right. Else is what we're actually going to be using. What it's going to do is it's basically going to say, if get global turn is equal to X, do this. In any other situation, so if global turn is not equal to X, we're going to run this code. All right.
Okay.
Global turn in our code will only ever be X or O. So if it's not equal to X, we know it's O, which means that we're going to be setting our global turn to, all right, and this should be a like full little toggle here.
It's not letting me add an else.
It's not letting you add an else. So click on the setting and you just need to drag the else under the if. Okay?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna share my screen because it's acting weird.
Don't drag it into the actual if block, drag it into the little thing on the side.
Yeah. It's not letting me.
Okay, so can you double click on else?
Oh, okay.
Okay, no, do you see like the little virtual if?
Like this one?
This guy, yeah, drag else under that if. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Martin. All right. All right. So we can actually test this out now. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we actually share the screen and see if everyone's catching up?
Sure. Okay. Let's go one by one. Ayan, do you want to show yours once again? I think you just showed it, but I didn't look at the rest of the code. All right. So you're missing some code under else. So can you basically just copy the set global turn O stuff?
Yeah, how do you copy that?
So click set global turn to O. No, not button1.txt. This is the orange one. The orange one. There you go. Now click Control C, Control V.
Oh, okay, controls.
Okay, and then pop it down over there, and now change that O to an X.
Okay.
The other option is right click, duplicate. Ayan.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then we also need to copy this green block.
No, that's it.
Okay.
You're good.
So if it was X, switch it to O. Otherwise it's meaning that it was O. Switch it to X. Okay.
Okay. Should I stop sharing
Okay.
now?
Yeah. So guys, we're gonna do a little experiment real quick. So no, just wait. So for quickly checking everyone's thing, so we can share check multiple screens at once. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a breakout room real quick, and I'm gonna send 3 of you in there with Martin, and 3 of you will stay here with me. All right, and then you guys, we can just quickly check everyone's code, and then once you're done checking in the other room, you can come back and we can keep programming.
Yeah.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make a new room, and I'm gonna assign to it Martin. Let's throw Zaki in there, Sophia and Hannah. Actually, that just leaves Ian here. Here you go, Sophia and Zaki, and then I'll check Ian and Hannah's here. All right, and open all rooms. So guys, quickly click that button that says join room and go check your code with Martin. All right. Awesome. And while you guys are still here, Ian, can you go ahead and share your screen? Okay, awesome. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, awesome. You can stop sharing. All right, and Hannah, can you go and quickly share your screen? All right, so set turn, global turn. Yeah, also all good. Okay, and your buttons are still regular names, so that's fine. Awesome. Wait, can you go to the designer real quick? Okay, can you just go click through the buttons real quick in order. So top left, right, and then middle left, right. 1, 2, can you click the next one? Okay, next, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8, 9. Okay, yeah, so yours are all in order also, which is great. All right, and everyone looks to be back now. Okay. All right, guys, so in the future, whenever we're doing these little checks, we're going to do the same thing. All right, so you're just going to go into the breakout room, So I don't actually have to always assign you to the breakout room. What you guys can do is if you go in the bottom of Zoom, do you guys see that button that says breakout rooms? Someone who is just in the breakout room, can you tell me if you do? Sophia
No,
or Zaki?
I can't.
Well, Ian, you weren't in a breakout room. You were still here with me.
We can indeed see it, yes.
You can't. Sophia, can you see it? Yeah. So in the future, guys, when I say go to the breakout room and quickly check it, you can just click that button, select breakout room 1, and click like join. All right. Instead of so that I don't have to quickly assign you and you won't see that pop up. All right. So you can just click there and join the breakout room. All right. But we'll do that in the future to save some time. Okay. All right. But for now, we can keep going. So let me ask you guys a quick question. So if I wanted to do this for every other button, does anybody have an idea of how we could do that? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
You can just copy and paste and name the buttons different.
Yeah, so that's one thing we could do. We could copy and paste like this, and I could go B2, B2. All right, I could do that again. Copy paste, B3, B3. All right, but now let's find something now, real quick. If I decided all of a sudden that instead of using X's and O's, I wanted to use like 2s and 4s, right? I would have to change 2s and 4s. Right now I only have 3 buttons set up. I would have to change that every single place that it shows up here. Every single place, right? As well as like editing things everywhere, right? So having a lot of repetitive code like this makes it really tedious to change anything, right? If there's any tweaks, any bug fixes that you want to do, you're gonna have to do it 9 separate times, right? Instead of just changing it in one place and then having it update. So we're not actually gonna be doing this. We're not gonna be creating duplicates like 8 times. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a lot more efficient code that's gonna make it so that we really don't even have to write 9. We're barely gonna have to write 1. All right. So the way that this is going to work is we're going to make one little function that's going to apply to all of the buttons. All right. So I want you to right click on button1.click. Here you go. And I want you to click this button here that says make generic. Make generic. All right. And you'll notice, all right, that a lot of stuff will change. Okay, let me quickly do Control Z. Okay, so take a look at this. And if I click right click, make generic, just pay attention to what's changed. All right, so the main things that changed is it says now when any button dot click, all right, component not already handled. Those are the 2 parameters. All right, and you'll even notice here set button. Instead of doing like set button 1 dot background color, it's setting oh wait, why is it background? This should be text. Okay, instead of saying set button 1, it's just saying set button dot text of component 2. All right, so this is making this function a lot more general and allows it to apply to every single button that we have in our game instead of just 1. All right. This if statement doesn't change at all. All right, this stays exactly the same. But this part right here, you'll see it's actually, when we click on the button, this variable component gets set to which button we clicked on, right? And not already handled, we'll talk about later when we actually add more buttons, all right? Basically, it's saying set the button of this component. That's why it's saying get component here to get global turn. All right, this part stays the same, but here is the funky part. All right. This might be a little bit confusing, but generic functions or generic blocks are very, very, very helpful in our code. Right? In our case, we only had 9 buttons, but if we had like 30 or like 100, right? Think how annoying it would be to make 100 different button handlers as opposed to just doing one nice one like this. Okay, and at this point, all right, what I want you to do is let's quickly go do the screen sharing thing again. What I'm gonna do is, I'm going to download these blocks as an image and send them to Martin. And then you guys can go ahead and check that you have the code there right as well. So I'm gonna stop sharing here. Again, you didn't actually have to change anything when you did it. All you had to do is right click, say make generic, and make sure this option here says text. Right? Okay, so again, guys, if you didn't catch that, what I did, let me show that one more time. Okay, this is what it looked like before, specific to button 1. What I did is I just right-clicked on the when block, and then I clicked Make Generic. Make Generic makes it so that it's not specific to one button, and it applies to any of the buttons. Okay, and you'll see it works quite well. Everything, you don't actually have to do anything after that. After you right-click, it automatically did everything to you. I was just explaining what it did. All right, so you'll see one thing to make sure, it does say text here. Okay, and then everything else is by default going to be right. All right, so guys, go to the breakout room with Martin, and let's quickly check. I want to stop sharing my screen as well. And in this room, let's start with Ayan. You can quickly share your screen, and we'll take a look at that. Okay, everyone else, go join the breakout room with Martin. So Sophia and Zaki, go ahead and join that. Okay, Sophia, Zaki? Great. Zaki, can you join the breakout room?
I can get an invite.
Okay, so you don't need an invite. So I've already added you once. So if you look at the bottom of the Zoom, do you see that button that says breakout rooms?
No.
You don't see a button that says breakout rooms?
No. Oh, yes, I do.
You do. Okay, click that button and then select breakout room 1 and then join it.
Wait.
Okay.
Okay, and then you should
Like,
with Martin. Okay, wait, Ayan, can you share your screen one more time real quick?
yeah, my internet is unstable. Hold on.
Okay, in that case, you try to fix that for a sec. Ian, can you share your screen?
Sure.
I'm gonna leave and rejoin.
Okay.
Do, 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 do.
All right. Ian, yeah, everything looks good. Nice generic component. And Hannah, can you share yours real quick? All right. Also looks great. Awesome. Yeah. Yours is also good. Ayan just left because he was having internet trouble. So, oh, here he's back. Okay, Ayan, can you share your screen? Are you here? Okay, I think Ayan is having some connection troubles. Wait, are you Ayan? Hello? You moved
Yeah, I'm having connection troubles.
And maybe try to stop the video and only so that we can only hear your voice.
Okay.
That will free your bandwidth.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Share your screen now.
Okay, 1 second.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, also looks good. Okay, guys, so you can see just how easy it is to replace 9 blocks of copy-pasted code with one quick right click. So that's like a really cool feature of MIT App Inventor, which is very, very convenient for us. All right, so I think what we can do now, guys, is let's try to connect this to your phones. Does anybody here not have an Android phone? Because I think the 2 people from last week.
I don't currently have one because
You don't have access to one right now.
my dad is not awake.
All right. Okay. In that case, what we can do is we can test it for you. Do you have it there, or should I do it on my end here?
Can you do it on your own this time? I'll start setting up things, okay?
All right.
Almost break time.
Okay, so guys, otherwise, if you have one on hand, does anybody else not have access to an Android phone?
You want to
I have
create another breakout room for
right
me
now.
so that whoever wants to test it we can take it there.
Does anyone else need one? Because I think last week it was Manan and Abraz, and they're not here this week.
Yeah, I have Android. Okay, what's the app called?
Okay, so Ian, can you share your screen? I'll scan your barcodes, and we can test it out on my phone. Okay, let me scan real quick. Sorry, I'm setting some stuff up here. Okay, so let me stop your sharing and start my sharing. Okay, so you can request remote control and go ahead and start clicking on buttons.
Tim? Ayan, do you remember how to test it on your phone?
Yeah, I need to download the app.
Okay, do you remember what
So yeah,
was
as you can see, you click
Yeah, I'm
and it changes the
downloading
letter.
it.
See, it's alternating between X's and O's,
Yeah, I got a new
depending
phone,
on
so I don't have it on
what
this
turn you're
one.
clicking. Right, which
MIT
is exactly what we wanted to do. Hey, O's win. Awesome. So we have a couple things. If you actually click on an O again, it will override it with an X. Okay. And we don't have any wind detection and no way to reset our screen. So there's a couple problems that we still do need to fix. But in terms of the actual clicking and getting it to set the text, it's working really well. All right. So stop clicking stuff. Let me quickly stop sharing. Stop. Okay, there you go. All right, can you guys say some stuff? Let me see if my speakers are still working.
Hi.
Hi, awesome. Okay, everything works. All right. Okay, so yeah, Ian, yours works fine. Guys, everyone else, let me know if yours worked out. So if you tested it and it worked fine, give me a thumbs up, right? And if you still need help testing it, let me know, and we'll help you out with that. Ayan, did you have access to an Android phone?
Yeah. I just don't know how to get the barcode up.
Oh, you don't remember how to do that. Do you have the MIT like AI companion on your phone?
Yeah, I have it on my phone.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so if you click connect and then AI companion, that'll get the barcode and you can scan that.
Okay. Okay, I got it. Okay. Okay, I got it on my phone.
Awesome. Hannah, Zaki, were you guys also able to get it tested? I know Sophia gave me the thumbs up, so she's good. Hannah, you're good. How about you, Zaki?
No, I didn't get to get it tested.
Do you have an Android phone?
No.
No. Okay, you should have told me. We can test yours out. Okay, in that case, share your screen and I'll scan your barcode and we can test yours out too. All right? All right. And now let me share my screen. Oh, hold up. Here. Oh no, it disconnected. Wait, can you show me your barcode again? Zaki?
Zaki,
Hello?
can you share your screen again and show the barcode? Yeah.
Okay. And now we can probably test. Let's see who connects. Come on. Yep, there you go. Okay, so you can request remote control and try it out.
How do I request more? Oh,
So in the top, select the, yeah, there you go. Okay, so click on some buttons. So it says X, awesome. O, X, O. Okay, so the important thing is that it is alternating. There you go, X wins. All right. Awesome. All right, so stop moving the mouse. I need to, okay, there you go. So yours also works fine.
Would be nice to have those X and O a little bigger and different colors.
So that is what we're gonna change now, actually.
That's a challenge.
Where's Zoom? Hold up. Here you go. Okay. So we can get started here. Actually, let's go back to the designer. So if you notice that those X's and O's were a little small, what we can do is I'm gonna actually just put like a dummy X into one of these text boxes, and then make it really, really big. All right. So I'm basically just gonna change the font size to like 30, maybe even more, like 50. Like that. I think that actually looks pretty good. And then maybe bold. Would bold look good? Let's try that with an O. I think bold actually looks pretty nice. All right. So, but if we want to apply this to all of them, guys, you remember how to do this, right? What's the default font? Right, you're gonna click on one, and then hold Control and click on the rest. All right, and then you change the font size to 50. Well, I changed mine to 50. You can pick yours if you don't like 50. All right, and that should change all of them to 50. Oh, and I also wanted bold, so I'm gonna select them all again and make sure that my font is bold. And now if I go through, I can click on a couple and they all look like they're correct. All right, so that also, guys, a lot of time saving things. All right.
Okay, it's 11:07. Do you want to take a little break?
Yeah, so guys, it's 11:08 right now, so you can keep playing around with the app. Once you've added like bigger X's, bigger O's, you can upload it, try to see it again. Go get some water, go to the bathroom, and we'll see you guys again at like 11:13-ish. All right,
Yep.
in like 5 minutes. All right, so come back
Change the
and
font size on your buttons, and we'll see you back in 5 minutes, okay? 11:13.
All right. All right, guys. So let me know when you're back. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up, say something in the chat, and we can keep going with our app. Okay, so hands here. What everyone else? Ian, Sophia, Zaki, Ayan. How about you guys?
Tim, you can create another breakout room for me in case anyone needs to test
Did you
the
set
app.
it up?
Mhm. Okay, so it's 11:15. Everyone's back?
I don't know. They're not replying. Okay,
Hi,
Sophia's here. How about you? Ayan, Ian, Zaki. Hannah's here too, I think.
Yep. Give us thumb up if you're back.
Ayan, Ian, Zaki. Okay, Ian's here, Zaki's here. Ayan? Hello?
Ayan, you're muted. Are you back? Okay. He'll be back if he's not yet, so you can continue.
Okay. All right. So I think the next thing that we're going to try to do is try to reset our game after somebody wins. All right, so let's add a new button at the bottom for resetting stuff. All right, so I'll add the button down here. Oh, okay, like this. All right, here, button, and we'll call it reset. I'll make it bold, a white font with a red background. Okay, reset. Okay. And what I want you guys to actually try, I want you to try as a challenge to program this button to make it so that when you press it, press reset. When you press reset, let me rename the button. Okay, rename the button to reset. I want you to try to program it so that when you click the reset button, it will basically clear every single other button's text, right? So it'll go through, and for instance, like with button 2, you can just go button 2.text and then set it to a blank. Okay, so that's going to be your quick little challenge just to warm your brains up again from the break. All right, it shouldn't be too hard. Also, guys, with this one, unfortunately, there is no way to like optimize it. Even if you do click make generic, there's no way really to go through every single button and do it in one swift motion. So you're going to have to brute force this one. So just a lot of copy pasting for this. Okay. But hopefully it shouldn't be too bad for you guys. It's just 9 buttons. All right, but just make it so that when you click reset, it will go ahead and reset all the buttons to a certain text color, a certain text again. All right, so that's gonna be your challenge real quick.
Wait, how do you get the reset button again? I mean, block again.
So designer, right? Make sure you add a reset button to the bottom here. All right, so I did it under the table. Okay, so I added a reset button. I even renamed it to reset. I made an S in red. And then you go to blocks, find reset, click it, and then say when reset.click.
So whenever you add new element to the designer, then when you click on it in the code side, you'll have options when that button is clicked, when something is happening to that element, right? So all those when conditions are on the block side available when you click on that element on the block side, okay? So whenever you see something like when something happens, make sure you actually look for that button on the block side. It's always 2-step process. You have to create that element, on the front end, and then you have to code that element on the back end. Okay.
So I'll go ahead and do one example for you guys. I'll start with B1. I'll just say when B1 dot when you click reset, set B1 dot text to blank. Okay, so just a blank text block. All right, and then you need to do this 9 times or 8 more times. Okay, that shouldn't be too hard. You just duplicate a bunch and change the letters.
And can you quickly, Tim, click on that any button there on the table arrangement, like on the blocks? Like on B2, click on B2. No, in the blocks.
Oh.
Yeah, just click on the element, click on the blocks, yeah, B2, and just scroll down. Guys, pay attention to those green blocks. Some of them have set, some of them don't have set. So B2 text or set B2 text. Right, so what's the difference between two? Who can explain? See, then B2 text color, set B2 text color. So what's the difference between two? Why is Tim choosing set, not the B2 text? Ian, you want to explain that?
I'm just trying to do the challenge thing.
But do you understand the difference between those green blocks?
Which
What's the
one?
difference between the one that says set and the one that doesn't say set?
Oh, b2.text is just saying b2.text, and then set b2.text is basically changing it, I guess.
So one of them is read, another one is write, right? So when you just want to read what that B2 text is, you'd use the first option. But if you want to change it to something else, that would be the second option, okay? And you can see that each green block comes in 2 variations. One without set, which is the read mode, which you just want to see what's inside of that block, right? And the other one comes with the set mode, which is actually when you want to rewrite it, change it to something else. So that's the difference, right? Okay. Just want to make sure they understand that.
All right. Yes. So I think most of you guys have probably figured out what you need to do. So I'm going to start catching up real quick. Basically, just copy it, change it to B2. Copy B3. Copy B4. B5. B6. B7. And just B8. And finally, we're going to go ahead and say B9. Bam, reset. So guys, if you were to test this, you'll notice now when you click reset, it should just basically set all of them to blank button, right? All right, so there's a couple other important things that we do need to do real quick. And mostly it's just going to be related to actually figuring out who's winning the game. All right, you'll notice right now we don't actually have that much code, but this next part is going to be a little bit long because, well, it's going to be checking a lot of different conditions. All right, basically we're going to have to find a way to check if either of the players have gotten 3 in a row. Okay, and then depending on who got 3 in a row, we need to actually write that answer, all right, somewhere on our screen. All right, and for that, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put a label somewhere at the bottom here saying, hey, somebody won, all right? So if you're not done the blocks, you can just keep copy pasting. But what I'm going to do is in the designer, I want to put a label over here next to my button, right on the side here. Now, who remembers if I want to put 2 components side by side, what do I need to use? Who remembers how to do that?
Horizontal arrangement.
Yeah, Hannah. So if I click layout, I'm going to select a horizontal arrangement. I want to throw my reset button in there. All right. And before that, I'm actually going to go ahead and say horizontal arrangement. I'm going to select it from the components menu here. And I'm going to set width fill parent. All right. And then I'm going to throw a label in here. And that'll actually allow me to put them side by side. Here you go. All right. I'll make this label fill parent and width. And I'll make it text align to the right. And then I'll make it real nice and big. Actually, I'll set the height to fill parent too. There's no such thing as vertical alignment here, is there? Doesn't matter. Okay, I'll set this back to automatic. Okay, I'll change the font size maybe to like 30. Oh, that's a little big. 25. 20? 23 or something. Okay, and I'm going to do a test for now. For now, I'm going to put a test here and say something like player X won the game. Okay, this is essentially what it's going to look like when somebody wins the game. Okay, I'm going to throw this at the bottom of my window. All right, player X won the game. Here you go. So this is what it's going to look like. But for now, I'm going to leave this text blank because I don't want anything to show up here until somebody wins. I want it to like pop out of the blue. All right, I want it to only happen, only show itself when somebody won the game. All right, so guys, add that label in, you know, horizontal arrangement. Yeah, add a horizontal arrangement, put a label, font size, width fill parent, text align right. Well, you can make it look however you really like. It doesn't honestly matter. And you can test that out. Okay. Okay, and then once you're done setting it up, delete the text from the label and just leave it there. So now the hard part, or the long part, is going to be now figuring out who won the game. All right, so when we're checking to see if someone's won the game, we're basically going to have to check this every single time somebody's clicked the button. Okay, every time somebody clicks a button, we're going to check to see if any of the players have 3 in a row. All right, for this, we're going to be, again, using if statements. All right, so for now, let's just write that here. All right, let's just put it right at the top here. All right, so we'll set button text to something, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pull an if statement out here, and we're going to have to do a lot of checking now. Okay, because let's think about how many ways somebody can win this game. All right, you can have 3 in a row this way, 3 in a row this way, 3 in a row this way. That's 3. Right, 4, 5, 6, and then diagonals, 7, 8. So there's 8 different things that we're going to have to be checking. All right, we're going to have to check if all of these ones, and we're going to basically be saying if this, this, and this are equal, or the same text, or this, this, and this are equal, or this, this, or this, or this, this, and this, or this, this, and this, or this, this, and this, this, and this, this, and this, and this. Okay, you get the point. Basically, we're going to have to go through and do each one of them manually, which is going to be taking a little bit of tedious code. All right, and for this, we're going to be using logic, using equals, and a lot of ors. Okay, and let's just start writing. Okay, basically, let's start and say if let's put an equal. If B1 dot text. Okay, and in this case, we're going to be using the one that doesn't say set because we're just getting the text. Oh, okay. If B1.text is equal to B2.text. Okay, now here's the thing. In this scenario, we're going to be checking 3 different conditions. All right, we're basically going to be saying if B1.text is equal to B2.text. All right, and now we're going to have to use an and here. On the outside. B1.text equals that. And B2.text equals B3.text. Okay, this right here is one condition. All right, this is going to be one win condition. This one win condition is having all 3 on the top row in a row. Okay, we have to do the same thing for the second row. So for this, we're going to use an or. All right, and you're going to see this is going to get annoyingly long very fast. All right. Actually, okay, you know what? To make this less annoyingly long, what we're going to do is we're going to split this up into a couple if statements. Okay, so I'm going to put it like this. This is going to be one condition. All right, then we're also going to do another if. We're going to say else if. Okay, else if, and then I'm going to copy paste this, and I'm going to say B4, B5, B5, B6. All right, this is my second row. All right, you guys get the point, right? Basically, we're saying if the 3 texts of these or these or these are equal, or these or these, and we're gonna have to check all of them. All right, so let's start doing that now because this might take a little bit of time. All right, so B1, B2, B2, B3, B4, B5, B5, B6. Let's do another else if again. Okay, and remember, else ifs are basically checking if these ones weren't met, check another condition. Okay, after B5, I have B7. So B7 to B8, and then B8 to B9. All right, this is all of my horizontals are done. So now we have to go and start on our verticals. All right, which is going to be also annoying. Okay, for our verticals, I'm going to have 1, 4, 4, 7. All right, if you don't remember what the numbers are, you can go and click on them. So I know this is B1, this is B4, this is B7. Okay, let's do another else if. Okay, then I'm going to go.
Once you assembled one of those ifs, you just duplicated and just changed the button names, right?
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, don't like manually make this part every time. As you can see, what I'm doing is I'm just going and yeah. Let me zoom out a little, guys. What I'm doing is I am going through and just copy pasting the big green chunk and then changing the numbers. Oh, I added an else, didn't I? Okay, here we go. And now after B2, I have my B3, B6, B6, B9. All right, so this is all of my verticals. I am almost done. I need 2 more conditions. All right, now I have my diagonals. Okay, for diagonals, guys, also, if you don't remember, so it's going to be, you can click on them and check. So B1, B5, B9. So I don't remember what I said. B1, B5, B5, B9. Okay, last condition is the other diagonal All right, and the other diagonal is supposed to be B3, B5, B7. B3, B5, B5, B7. Here you go. And that's a lot of ifs. All right. I can't exactly zoom in. Maybe I can zoom in a little. Try to fit everything on. Okay, so those are all the conditions for you guys. Okay, and I'm gonna give you a lot of time to catch up with this. I would like to say there's an easier way to do this, but sadly there isn't really an easy way to do this without doing a lot of really complicated math. This is probably the easiest way to complete this. It's just a
My
lot
hands
of.
hurt.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yep. When I duplicate it so many times, it kind of looks like there's an error.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now I'm confused.
We'll talk about what's gonna happen after this, but well, here you go. So we have every win condition checked.
And
When
one.
we taught this class the first time, we didn't actually teach this this part of the if statement, or at least when we were like the very first time when we tried it. All right, but I think you guys are probably advanced enough to try this out. Plus, it makes the game a lot more fun. If nobody like wins, you just have to like guess who's winning. That's more of like what's the difference between that and playing on a piece of paper or just like a drawing app.
This is kind of really hard.
So it's not hard. It's just annoying.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
It makes your hand hurt and everything.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you should have 8 in total.
Five.
I know that you're muted.
I mean, do you want to maybe send Ian and Martin to breakout room so that Ian doesn't waste his time and someone checks his code?
I think Ian's fine. He's just taking his time writing it.
He said he has some error.
No. No, there's no errors.
It doesn't look like there's an error.
Yeah, no. So you know how like in ads it looks like there's like a whole bunch of duplicates of the same thing?
Yeah.
It kind of looked like that.
No, okay. You know how like you know how like in really old Windows when an error would happen, the windows would like cascade.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you mean.
That's what it is. There's not an actual error. It's
Cascading windows.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's like in Windows XP when it was like. Brrr.
Great.
Anyway.
Well,
Yeah,
the
so
good
guys-
part then is to make your code a little smaller, you can just double click on if and it will just wrap the entire thing.
That is
right?
true. Once you're done with this, you can literally just do that and it's gone. Okay. This would be probably significantly easier to write in other programming languages.
Ow.
All right,
It's
but
not that difficult.
Scratch,
You just copy
it's
paste.
not hard to write. It's just a lot of stuff.
And they're very annoying.
Yes.
Same thing
correct.
with any programming languages. You'd get to copy paste that, right?
What's the middle one? Button
middle one?
four?
What do you mean the middle one?
Middle button.
B5, I think.
I'll check.
Yeah, if you don't remember, guys, again, if you don't remember the names of the buttons, you can go to your designer and just click on like the sequence and just remember what the buttons and numbers are.
B9.
All right, so for the diagonals, that's what I did. Because, well, you can figure out the diagonals, but I don't want to. Yeah, but luckily after this, it shouldn't be too bad for the rest of it. Okay.
I'm mad.
The next
We
thing should
have
be
20
quite easy.
minutes. Guys, we
Three.
have 20 minutes left.
The middle one is always 5, and then 7. Oh, that's very annoying. Okay, so I guess I don't need this.
Yes, Mom.
Yes.
So let's see how you guys actually following what's happening. So
Oh, my hands hurt.
what is the next step we need to do to actually make our game work?
Score.
Right
Can
now,
we
we just
quickly,
put the conditions, right?
well, we put the conditions, yeah, but basically we in any of these scenarios, if any of these conditions is met, that means somebody won the game. And we need to check who won the game, and then change the label. And I'm
Tim,
probably gonna have to show you a yeah, Zaki.
can you check if mine's right?
Yeah, okay, so I think that's probably what we should do next. I'm once again, oh, how do you disable the, I don't know. Disable workspace. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna once again download this and send it. Okay, and let's have you guys, if you were working with Martin before, go ahead and hop into the breakout room again, and let's quickly check everyone's code. Okay, so Zaki, Sophia, go in the breakout room with Martin. Yeah, yeah. Ian, you can just shake your hand off. I don't think you're not gonna be doing too much clicking right now, or use your left hand. I don't know. Try it as an experiment. All right, but let's actually start it. So, are any of you guys done? Hopefully, all of you are done. Yes. Ian, do you want to share your screen? I can take a look.
Sharing.
Can you zoom in a little?
Okay.
Okay, so B1, B2, B2, B3, B4, B5, B5, B6, B7, B8, B8, B9, B1, B4, B4, B7, B2, B5, B5, B8, B6, 6, 9, 1, 5, 5, 9, 3,
That's
5.
accurate.
Yeah.
Good job, Ian.
Whew, awesome. All right. Almost as hard to read. Okay. Let's have Hannah, you want to show yours real quick?
I'm not finished.
Oh, okay. Ayan, do you want to show yours? Ayan? Hello?
Ayan, can you share your screen, buddy? Are you still here?
Oh yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, go ahead. Can
I'm
you
just
share?
having like your mics are lagging out.
Oh, okay.
My internet's
Okay, maybe
not
your internet
working
is still
great
glitchy.
today.
Go ahead, share your screen.
Okay.
So Hannah, which one are you on? Which
Wait,
row
hold
are
on.
you?
I'm about to crash. I'm about to crash.
Yours crashed?
Yeah, I'm crashing.
You mean your MIT App Inventor crashing or what?
Oh, his computer just.
I actually have a question.
Yeah?
I'm gonna just share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do I add like if and then?
Oh.
Yeah, let's walk you through.
Yeah, okay, so click the little setting icon next to if,
Yeah.
and then go else if, and just add that like 10 times.
And drag it to the if inside of this box.
Yeah.
No.
Do you see the other if?
But inside of this.
Do you see the little mini if?
Mini if, yeah. No.
The if that's in the same box. Yeah, there you go. Very good.
I think my internet's not working very good because my parents are both working.
I suggest adding 7 of them right away and then just dragging.
Okay.
Yeah. Just add.
Wait, I just tap on them?
Just drag
So
them.
just drag more in. Drag more in.
And
do that
you need like
6
7
times.
of them.
Okay.
3, 4,
5,
6,
6,
and
and 1 more. 7. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
all of
Yeah.
the checks and all of the boxes.
Now
Yeah.
just drag your button.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so you got your 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I was checking that.
And can you share?
Are you ready to share your screen, buddy?
I'm gonna try one more time. Hopefully it doesn't crash this time.
If sharing the screen is the big problem there, and you can take the snapshot of your screen, like
Let me actually show you guys how you can do that. So if you want to just send a picture of your code, you can right click in your code and then click this thing that says download blocks as image. Okay, and then just send me this image through Zoom. I want to try this clean up blocks. Oh,
Okay,
nice.
this is Ayan sharing, right?
No, this is me sharing.
Oh, this is you sharing.
Ayan can't share, right?
Ayan, do you
Should I
want?
share my screen?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
if you're done, you
Yeah.
can share yours.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 4, 7. Is that right? Okay, 2, 5, 8, 3, 6, 9, 1, 5.
The first diagonal is wrong.
Yeah, so it should be 1, 5, 9.
1, 5,
1,
here,
5,
9?
5. Well, no, 1, 5, 5, 9.
Button 7 in the
1, 5, 5, 9. Okay.
nine.
Okay, and then the other way is right. No, well, yeah, 3, 5, 9. That's 3, 5, 7. Yeah, that's all good.
Wait, there's supposed to be 7 else ifs, right?
Yes,
Yes.
Ayan.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, good job, Hannah. Yeah.
Whew, okay, let's quickly get the rest done. I think they're still working. Oh, okay, Martin should be back now.
So Sophia's back, Zaki is back. Yeah. So it's only Ayan. Ayan, so how are you doing, buddy, there?
Okay, we can. We only have 50 minutes, so let's keep going with the code for everyone. And then if Ayan still needs help, we can probably send him to a breakout room with you if you want, or with Martin.
Or just stay after the class, Ayan, we'll catch you
Yeah,
up, okay? Okay.
Okay, so
Yep.
basically we need to
Okay.
put some code. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. We need to put some code to do when somebody wins into each and every one of these chunks. All right. I think that's going to be a little bit annoying if we were to put the exact same code here over and over again, right? Because we don't like repetition. So I'm going to teach you guys a cool new little method that we haven't done yet. Okay. So one way that we can do this is, for now, let's just write the code under the first one, and then I'll show you how we can turn it into like a way that we can just copy it into every other section. Right? So when somebody wins, what we basically want to do is we want to change the label code. All right, but before we change the label code, it probably makes sense first to switch the turn again so that we have access to the winner. All right, we know the winner is going to be the last person to have moved. All right, so if the current turn is O and somebody already won, that means that X must have won because now it's O's turn and somebody won on the previous turn. All right, so to get X again, what we can do is we can run this little chunk of code one more time. So I'm actually going to copy this if and paste it and move it up here. Okay, so I'm going to change the turn one more time. And then this part's going to be quite simple. All I need to do is take the label and set its text to a quick little joining thing. So I'm just going to say join this, the text of, well, this is going to be a triple join actually, which I'll show how to do that in a second. Player, and it's going to be player space, okay, player space joined with the current, no, that's wrong. Get global turn, get here, with the current turn, because we just changed the turn to like who it was previously. Okay, and then guys, to do a triple join, it's gonna be just like you did with the if statement. You're gonna click the settings icon and drag another string under here. Okay, and then I'm gonna say player X or player O space 1 again. Okay, and then throw some exclamation marks in there for fun. Okay, it's important to have a space after the player and before the 1 because the X or O doesn't have any spaces, and if you don't put spaces after player and before 1, it'll look kind of smushed together. All right, but this is what you're going to be doing. This is all the code we need to do. But the problem is that we need to do this code again and again and again and again. And I don't want to copy paste this code. Again, that's going to be super repetitive and annoying. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to make it into our own little new command. All right, and I'll show you how we can do that. But for now, Can you guys follow along with this? Make sure to add this. All right, and you remember this if statement I got from down here. You can copy and paste it and add it up here. All right, this label part I made myself. Just to one more time. Okay, so here you go. This is the code. Quickly copy this down, and when you're done, give me thumbs up or say yes in the chat, or say done in the chat.
We have 10 minutes left.
Hopefully, we'll be able to finish.
Wait, how do you get like the and block again? I forgot to add that in the first
And
part.
block, you go under logic and then pull out the end.
Okay.
And then you need to insert the one with equal inside of the and, right?
Yeah, so it's a little chunky.
Yeah, but your and like, wait, hold on.
So Zaki's good. Okay, Ian's also good.
Yeah, almost.
Do you want to go in a breakout room with Ian, or I can send him with Martin, and you can quickly get him or try to get him caught up?
Yeah, I can go with. Can you do the functions? I'd rather keep Ian after the class. Ian, do you have time after 12 o'clock to stay?
Yeah, I have time.
Yeah, so we'll catch him up.
Okay. All right. I think everyone else is good now. Sophia, are you good? Awesome. All right. So what we're going to basically do now is we're going to take this chunk of code and make it into our own new little command. All right. In other programming languages, that's called a function. All right. In Scratch or MIT App Inventor, it's called a procedure. All right. And basically what procedures are is it allows you to take a chunk of code and compress it down into one block, all right, that you can use over and over again anywhere you want. And if you change the original chunk of code, it'll change everywhere else you use it, all right, which lets us clean up our code a lot. All right, so it's quite easy to make a function. All we're going to do, or make a procedure, is we're going to click this purple button here, procedures, okay, and we're going to pull out the first one, not the second one that says result. We're going to pull out the one that says do, all right? We're going to pull out the do one, all right? And we're going to just have this as a chunk of code on the side, and that's going to create a new procedure that we can use later. All right, for this one, I'm going to name it something. I'm going to call this like win function. All right, it doesn't really matter what you call it. Just make sure it's a fun, original name. Okay, win function. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag all of my code in here. And that's basically it. Okay, you made a procedure called win function, and you drag the code in here. All right, but the cool part now, is if you click under procedures, you'll see there's a thing here that says call win function. If you put this anywhere in your code, for instance, in an if statement, it'll just make it so that when this if statement is called, it will run this code. All right, and now you can copy this and put it in every single if part, or the then in the ifs. Okay, so anytime I win, I'm going to call win condition or win function. And if I want to change something with this, if I find a bug or an error or something, I can go up here and just change it once instead of changing it 9 or 8 separate times. All right. So you're going to make it, and then guys, again, so after creating the win function, all right, you go under procedures and you find there's like a new option here. So if you see, I created, if I drag out another one, don't do this. I'm just showing you what happened. And I make it like my new function. Yay. Okay. It'll pop up down here as well. Okay, if I delete it, it hopefully should disappear. Yeah, there you go. So any functions that you make or any procedures that you make will show up over here. Okay, and then you're going to pop it into every single spot here. All right, procedures are very useful, very fun and handy things. All right, and we'll be using them probably a little bit more for our future apps.
Okay, we have 5 minutes left, so that's pretty much it, right?
No, there's a very big bug that we need to solve real quick. So let me actually demonstrate this bug. Give me a sec.
So while Tim's setting things up, guys, you learned pretty important concepts today. One, you just learned function in very fun and easy way. Then the second concept that you learn the if-else statement, right? So that's big thing where you copy pasted everything called if-else statement. So those are two very important concepts in any programming language. And you guys just learned it in like very fun ways. So that's the beauty of this MIT App Inventor. You want to share your screen, Tim?
I'm about to. Give me a sec. I should just set some stuff up. Okay, so is it gonna work? Yeah, there you go. I just connected my phone once again to the game, and let me demonstrate something. So if I click anything, you'll notice right away it says that somebody just won the game. Okay. The reason for this is because, right, every time I click, it doesn't really matter anymore, right? It's just going to keep switching back and forth. The reason for this is because when you reset the game, right away, this button is blank, this button is blank, and this button is blank. And our app triggers that as a 3 in a row of blanks. All right, and it considers that somebody winning because it finds that B1 is equal to B2 and B2 is equal to B3. They're all the same value. Right, same thing for this one, same thing for this one.
Why does reset have an X on it now?
Oh, that's also something we had to fix. So you'll see, yeah, there's a lot of fun things that we still need to work on. I think we might have to spend the first bit of next class also finishing up this app. Because we don't actually have time right now. But let me leave you with one little thing. So actually, I think we accidentally added.
Give that as a challenge to them actually to fix those bugs.
Try to fix it. Okay,
yeah.
we did add one little thing that we didn't need to. This if statement here doesn't need to be here. All right, we can just delete that. Okay, all we need is this label join thing. Okay, because we're doing the switching turn thing after we run the win condition. If we were putting this if before, then we would need to have the if here. All right.
So the box to fix as a homework is to figure out.
Try to make it so yeah, for homework, try to see if you can figure out how to make it so that it doesn't instantly trigger the win function because it has 3 blanks in a row. Okay, I'll give you a hint. All right. 1 space and 2 spaces are not the same thing. All right, so you can try to use that to make it so that your starting values are a little different, potentially, without making it look different. That's what we did last class. So you can try.
Or you can put this big if statement into another if statement where you just check that if it's not blank, then call this one, right?
Yeah, you can try to do that as well. You can try to add like another and around this. That might make it a lot longer though. So you can pick which one you find more tedious will really result in that.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but you have
apart from that, delete the if statement here, and everything should be good. And with next class, we'll also talk about how to make it so our reset button doesn't turn into an X when we click on it. All right, because that is like a little side effect of. Do you see how we have this saying when any button dot click? All right, that means that even if we click the reset button, it's going to trigger this function saying when any button dot click. All right, which is not what we want. That's actually why there's an option here saying not already handled. So we can use that to fix that problem, and I'll show you how to do that next week or tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. So
Apart from that, let's have everyone quickly share your screens, and once you have it shared and you're good, you guys are free to go.
Don't leave the meeting until your instructor says that you're good to go. But just to summarize, as a homework, guys, try to fix the bug where in the beginning of your game, your blanks pretty much because they equal, because everything is blank, so that your equality, your condition is true right from the beginning. So you want to fix that bug using maybe a different if statement or and. Try to play around and see with those tools that you already know, try to fix that bug. That would be the homework. And we'll go through that next class first thing in the morning, and we'll show you how we would fix that. But at the meantime, so Martin, Zaki, and Sophia, Tim, can you create another room before they go there? So that I can take Ayan? Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Ayan, and you will go with me to another breakout room, and Sophia and Zaki, Martin will help you.
Okay, yeah, Sophia, Zaki, you guys can go ahead and join the other one, and I'll check. Huh? Yeah, Ayan, join breakout room 2. All right, Sophia, Zaki, Martin, you guys go there, and Ian or Hannah, you guys can share your screen right now, and after I check it, you guys are free to go. Okay, wait, Martin, join the other room. Awesome, okay, he's gone. Okay, so you didn't rename your procedure. Is this Hannah or Ian? So Ian, yeah, you don't have to rename your procedure, but it would be nice. Also, one thing, can you delete the if statement from the procedure? So just click the if and delete it. You don't need it. You would need the if you were calling the other if before this. Okay, it's complicated. But yeah, just disable it. Delete this. Delete this. Delete the if. Okay, and then apart from that, everything's fine. If you want, you can rename the procedure. Do you see the part that says like 2 and then like a text box for a procedure?
Yeah.
If you click it,
I don't.
You don't want to rename it?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay. It's just if you add more procedures, then it'll get complicated. All right, that's fine though. All right, you're good too. And if you think you're done, you're free to go. All right, see you tomorrow. And Hannah, can you share your screen?
Yeah.
Okay, yours all looks good, I think. Yeah, awesome. Good job. You're also free to go then.
Thank you.
All right, see you tomorrow.
See you.
That's all good.
Is there anything wrong with this one? Yeah, that looks good.
No, it's fine. I fixed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good to go, Sophia. Zaki, go ahead and share.
Oh, so he didn't do the procedure thing. Oh wait, no, he did.
No, he did. He just also left it there. Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to guide him through fixing that?
Yeah, basically, Zaki. So you have the procedure. You can essentially just delete that if statement that's in like the big if statement you have that happens after the first when condition.